So in this video, I'll be breaking down my $300,000 stock portfolio, and you guys have been following me for some time. It was at $60,000 3 years ago. I've built it almost $250,000 in less than 3 years. So let's get straight into it. So you guys can see right here, here's my M1 Finance account. You guys can switch through everything. If you guys don't believe me, is what it is. Year to date up about 11%, from lows up like 40%. All-time return up 121%. It's kind of whatever, but again, I'll refresh if you guys don't believe me for their reason. Some people need some extra verification. Yeah, all the same numbers. So right now the portfolio is at about $304,000. Pretty great stuff here. So let's just break down how I built to the low I am now, how you guys can start building your portfolio if you guys are just getting started or trying to scale to where I am right now. Again, $60,000 to $300,000 in 3 years. You guys can see right here from the all-time chart. Really started this account. I'm building it in September 2021. Just was slowly dollar cost averaging. So again, when I started making YouTube videos, it was around right here, like January 2022. So $60,000 to $300,000 in 3 years. Really great milestone for me, but there's still more to come. So not wasting too much time here. So how I grew my portfolio to 300,000, and just for some quick benchmarks here, if you guys look down here, if you guys been following me along, my videos I made, my long-term picks, the stocks I was buying, everything like Roblox, Nvidia, Tesla, etc., Shopify, another great stock. The NASDAQ 100 is up nearly 53% at the time of this recording, and my main portfolio has returned over 80%. So I'm outperforming the NASDAQ by about 30% just based on my stock picks. And if you guys were following along, you guys could have had the same performance and outperform the NASDAQ by 30% in the same time period. So let's get into it. So obviously income and discipline is the biggest things here. Consistent contributions. I've always been investing $20,000 per year. Like I talked about in my previous video, keeping my expenses really low. No lifestyle inflation. Obviously some things you have to pay for, like insurance, rent. You can't really control those things. But I don't have a car payment. I paid off all my debt, so I don't have to worry about paying off a bunch of debt collectors every single month. I've been able to scale, or I've been able to contribute lots of money in this account and lots of money to grow this account year over year. And side income from businesses, obviously I work for options drops, we do that. Prop firms, trading, obviously the biggest one, and reinvesting profits instead of spending. So obviously I set some money aside for fund money, but I'm still investing 20-30% of my income per month in the stock market and putting it in at a consistent basis the first of every month. Again, I don't care what the stock market is. I have a long time horizon, so that's why I just invest what the market is. I could be patient, wait for a pullback, but again, I'm outperforming the market by about 30% just by investing the first every single month and not, just putting all my money in, hoping for a pullback and buying a 20% dip. Again, a long time horizon, time in the market beats time in the market. So that's my primary focus in this account. I don't, trade in this account. I don't do anything in this account. I just contribute money to this account and watch my money grow for me. Now my money's lifting weights in the gym. It's heavyweight. So trading and strategy, like I said, first of the month I invest, my set allocation. If I make some more money throughout the month, like a prop firm payout, a wire transfer from my trading account, I obviously deposit more money in. But the first every month I just deposit, 25% into the account and then just, auto invest everything. So strategy, obviously day trading futures, trading options. That's where the primarily most of the money comes from that gets contributed to this account. Just contribute that money in, obviously scalps, leaps, everything like that. Scaling up in my trading, obviously as I started scaling up and making more money on my trades, I've been able to contribute more money. So back when I was making like $6,000 per month, I wasn't contributing like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 per month in my account. But as I started making $20,000, $30,000 per month, I was able to contribute $10,000. So that's why this has been able to scale much quicker than in years past, because as income grows, the deposits and contributions in this account grows. So it makes sense. And obviously never blowing up and avoiding risk in this account. Obviously it's pretty risky because I'm in primarily technology. But again, I don't trade in this account. I just let it work in the background, build my wealth, build my net worth, and everything that comes along with this. So that's been my primary focus, and not freaking out if the market goes down 20% like we saw on Liberation Day. Just buy the dip, buy the first of the month, and continue to do the same thing over and over, year after year, month after month. So obviously long-term investing, because the point I'm at right now, compound growth is taking over and contributions matter much less now. So back when you're first getting started, before like $100,000, you have to contribute a lot of money to get to the $100,000 mark, because again, a 10% return on $60,000 is only $6,000, but 10% return on $300,000 is $30,000. So obviously as the snowball starts rolling downhill, you don't have to contribute as much money to get bigger returns. That's why it's easier to make money if you have money, but just getting started is a really hard challenge. But you just have to get that thing going downhill, invest as much as possible, get to $100,000, and then it starts going from there. I hit $100,000 in this account in June of 2023. So even since then, this account has grown $200,000. But since then, like I said, I've been contributing a lot of money, but also the stock returns and the market returns have also outpaced my contributions pretty tremendously. And obviously the biggest one down here, really gotta emphasize this one, holding through volatility instead of panic selling. You know, I'm sure during the Liberation Day crash when the whole market was down 25-30%, I'm sorry, some of you guys out there probably sold for a reason, just, you know, fumbled the bag, you know, gave it all up and missed the entire run up to the upside like we're having right now. But if you guys watched my video that said I'm down $60,000, here's what I'm doing. I didn't panic sell, I just bought more, I wrote it out, and I just deleted the app when, you know, times of turbulence come along. So again, made it back out to the other side in less than 3 months. And you know, since the bottom in April, this account has gone from $180,000 to $300,000. So, and again, just in that, you know, stretch alone, up nearly $120,000. Obviously, I've only returned about 12%. That's in this portfolio alone. But just since the April low, again, that's like a 30-40% return. So can't really ask for much more than that. If you guys are interested in some of the stocks I'm holding, it's the same stocks as usual. Haven't really changed too much. I did sell Amazon, or I did sell AMD stock around $100 because I'm already so heavy in NVIDIA stock. I didn't want, you know, too much overlapping in the semiconductor space because I'm also holding QQQ obviously, so I already have some exposure to that sector. And I also sold CRM stock and Adobe stock. I think I sold Adobe like a year or two ago, but I sold CRM recently as well. I only had like a couple $1,000s in CRM, so I didn't really see the point of having CRM in my portfolio. Just wasn't really growing too much. I'd rather just reinvest that money back in a stock like Amazon, Apple, etc. They have consistent returns year over year and lots of good things going for them. So the stocks down here, like I said, ARM, Amazon, BTI, Apple, Qs, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, Shopify, Roblox, and NVIDIA. And my best performing stocks in this account are obviously Shopify, Roblox, and NVIDIA, up nearly 1,000% since I bought it at since I bought it down here at $15. Obviously I told you guys about Shopify and Roblox and my stocks to buy video as well. But everything else is up at least 10%. ARM's kind of been struggling here, not really getting the performance I would like on this name. But again, it's a long-term name for me, not really too panicked. 12% return since IPO, not terrible, but could be better. And obviously the really great performer as of lately is Google. Google gapped up, is moving really well. 48% return on Google since I bought it. I've been buying lots of shares of Google and Amazon in particular. So those two names are really, you know, growing pretty rapidly right now. And Tesla, of course, up 73%. Hopefully Tesla goes back to 40, but again, all these stocks for the long term, really have no interest in selling anything right now. I like the weightings in my portfolio. Nothing's too overweight. I'm comfortable with holding the amount of NVIDIA I'm holding, you know, $40,000 to $5,000 worth of NVIDIA stock. But I don't really have any interest in changing anything right now. I might sell Shopify and Roblox here soon because they're both up, you know, 250%. But obviously, as you start holding for long term and start actually holding stocks, one thing to keep in mind is tax implications. So I don't really want to accrue a larger tax bill I have to just by selling a stock. I'd rather just keep the stock working for me in the market because again, you're up, you know, 250% minimum. I really have nothing to worry about at this point in time, you know, Shopify, Roblox in particular. So risk management, obviously something like I talked about in my previous video. In years past, especially in 2022 when the market started crashing, I got too over leveraged in the stock market by not having enough cash set aside. So one thing to counteract that is obviously having an emergency fund, you know, 3, 4, or 5 months set aside in a different bank account, and also having lots of cash built up on the side. So I have lots of cash just laying around right now, so it's more heavily correlated to my net worth. Like I said, in years prior, in 2022 in particular, I was pretty much like 90% in the stock market, 10% cash. But now it's about like, you know, 60, 70%, probably 60% in the stock market. And, you know, the other 30% is just laying around cash right now, just waiting for buying opportunities, money set aside to invest back in my SEP IRA and all those things that come along with it. Obviously, I'm diversifying between taxable, retirement, and all my accounts. So obviously, this main taxable broker is my main account I've showed for you guys. I track this account pretty frequently online. But obviously, it's still like a Roth IRA has about, you know, $50,000 inside of it. I still my trading account has about like, you know, $50,000 inside of it. So not all my money is just, you know, directly in this taxable broker account. I have, you know, a couple thousand, $20,000 in this account, you know, $50,000 in the Roth IRA. So I'm not too, again, like I said, heavily tied up in one account in particular. And if this account goes down, I'm not really too panicked because I can just put more cash in the market, buy the dip more aggressively, and again, provides me no stress at night like it used to back in the day. And obviously the big one, avoiding high interest debt so it can compound freely. I've talked about this in many videos. You know, try to eliminate, you know, credit card debt, high interest debt. Try to get rid of your car loan if possible. Completely debt free. I have nothing hanging over my head, so it allows me to invest all my money in the stock market as opposed to going to, you know, paying off, you know, high interest balances and I can actually let my money work for me as opposed to my money getting taken from me with liabilities like cars and vehicles, etc. And the biggest thing here, this is like the most important step to really start growing your account, starting making money, to get where I am. I obviously, to some people, it's not a lot of money, but to me, especially where I was, working at Kroger 3 years ago when I was, really excited to see my net worth at $50,000, just to seeing it grow to, this account grow to $300,000 in 3 years since I started working for option drops. Just goes to show how hard work and dedication can really work and reach your goals really quickly. Like I said, would have never thought I would have reached this amount where at this age, but again, I've been working really hard. And just letting my account compound and grow for me. It's been on autopilot really. So the biggest thing here is start investing at a young age. I've been investing in the stock market since about 20 years old. So going back to 2018, I think is when I opened up my first 401k through my workplace, and then eventually opened up a Roth IRA and a taxable broker account. So I started investing, at a really young age, relatively at 19 years old. So I've had 6+ years to start growing this account. Like you guys saw, the growth really came in the last 3 years when income and trading really started working out in 2022. So I've been able to put more money in and grow this account really rapidly. Obviously treating it like a business, not gambling. I'm buying high conviction names that have growth, names that have shown potential year over year and decade over decade. I'm not buying meme stock. I'm not buying these random tickers. I have no idea what to do. All the stocks in my portfolio, I have somewhat of a clear understanding of how they make money, their business structure, and everything that goes along with them, their leadership. So that's why I'm comfortable holding names like Nvidia, especially where they're weighted in my portfolio, because I have a confidence in CEOs like Jensen Huang, Tim Cook, etc. to lead their stocks higher and lead the business to more growth. So just buying in stocks and sectors I'm familiar with, and I'm not gambling. I've seen people comment on previous videos that I should diversify more back in other sectors. But again, I'm really familiar with the technology sector, like names like Nvidia, like I've said multiple times. So if I'd rather have a clear understanding on one sector as opposed to being a jack of all trades. If I can understand technology, I can understand a couple of companies how they make money. I'm going to see more growth in people that have 20 ETFs full of like VTI, VU, and they're just a bunch of overlap and not seeing that growth they want to. And obviously the biggest one just comes down to patience and letting the portfolio snowball instead of selling stocks, buying high, selling low, chasing hype, selling the markets down. Just being patient, waiting for these pullbacks to play out, not getting over leveraged, and doing everything I do every month over month, which is buying the first of the month and just going on from there. So that was really it. Hopefully this gave you a breakdown of what I'm looking for in my stock portfolio. Again, you guys can take a screenshot, look at all the stocks I'm holding. Hasn't changed besides, like I said, AMD and CRM are gone. And yeah, if you guys want to get a 30% outperformance on the NASDAQ since 2021 when I started this account, you guys know to follow. If not, you guys can go back to chasing meme stocks, losing money, and underperforming the market, year after year consistently. But you guys know what to do. Be sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.